Looking good, YouTube. My name is Love Game, or PD1 Piranha if you prefer, and I'm a man destined to be king. Welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Sapphire, the Redemption Run. Probably gonna be calling this Ruby still after all these years. In the last part, we just kind of got our feet back into the old stomping grounds of Hoenn. We hadn't seen since 2010. See, I'm rapping in this part already. This part, we're going to be seeing good old Daddy. Honestly, his hair kind of reminds me of my own father's, because he just kind of has that, obviously he's a little bit older, so he's kind of partially balding, but black hair kind of runs in our family. We got that Irish black, kind of like Atlas from our other LP. Now, fun fact about this, and I'll show you when we get there. I think I said this in the last LP too, I don't actually remember. I like this music too. This music is in like all the Pokemon games, and the anime. Oh boy, I can't wait for a scripted event. No, you think you're so special, I found one of those too. So I have a very interesting talking point, I think, that I want to bring up for this LP, that I'll be bringing up a lot, I think, just in our downtime. When things like this are going on, I want to talk about this because I want y'all's opinion on it, personally. I want to know what you guys have to say about Gen 3. Because if you guys grew up with Pokemon, like the Gen 1 and 2, like, you guys might have noticed that Gen 3 was the point where it was kind of dying down. How do I say this? Like, Gen 3 was the jumping off point for Pokemon fans. Like, if you were someone who just kind of got into it for the fad when it was Gen 1 and 2 back in the late 90s and 2000, you might not have liked this game too much, because not only was it kind of a step back in some regards, it was the first example that Pokemon is going to be just kind of the same thing. Like, it's just going to be repetitive, you know, collect the 8 badges, explore a region, you know, new Pokemon, evil team, very formulaic. So a lot of you guys might have kind of dropped the series at this point. And I was one who didn't, because growing up, I was a regular Peter Pan. I always liked to be a kid as much as I could. I didn't mean to do that at all. Whereas my friends were kind of in a hurry to grow up. It was kind of a contrast between us, TBH. And yeah, Pokemon was for a long time considered kind of a social taboo, if you will, around this time. You can do that in this game. Only for a short time though, but you can do it. Alright, Billy! We got Billy himself coming in for an encore performance, just kind of like this LP is an encore of my original run. He's gonna do this because he's gonna be using the Bide for this turn, and I don't want to get hit with his storage of energy. But yeah, Gen 3 was the very definitive jumping off point of the Pokemon series, because let's do it again just for the hell of it. That's not going to help you against special attack, unfortunately. Yeah, because I kept playing Pokemon in Gen 3, and I noticed that a lot of my friends had kind of dropped the series at that point. See, what's he going to have is the question. Gotta be able to tank out a hit here, hopefully. Okay. I got lucky. Yeah, it was a bit of a solo experience for me because a lot of my friends had kind of moved on. I hadn't really played a lot of Pokemon after that, and my best friend in particular would always tell me, like, he had like a birthday party going on, and he would tell me not to bring Pokemon games, like, because it was considered this embarrassing, like, I said it was for kids, you know? They always said, oh, well, Pokemon's just a kid's thing, so, you know, why are you still playing that, or whatever? Just that general stigma of everybody wanted to grow up, you know? Everybody was talking about, I don't know. I wouldn't say they were talking about, like, sex, nothing like that yet, because they were still in 5th and 6th grade at the time. But they were kind of, they just wanted to grow up faster than I did, and I can kind of understand that. I'm not saying that it was the wrong thing to, it was the wrong opinion to have. It was just, oh, wait, can I do this? I totally want to do this if I can. Not that. Okay, now how did I do this before? People? Yeah, here we go. I had this on my original... It wouldn't be an adjective, would it? No. On my original file, I had put this on here and my friend thought it was hilarious for some reason, because it could be an action. No. It's not an actual Pokemon, no. Huh, I choose you is in there as well. Not abilities, no. Trying to recall how I did this last time. It's been a while. Voices? No, maybe. I feel like an idiot right now. How did I do this last time? Yeah, you can share this this phrase with different people if you have the there we go. Okay. So what was these categories are weird. Anyway, yeah, Pokemon was considered kind of a social taboo at this time. Everyone was saying like, oh, Pokemon's gay, or it's for kids, you know? And I would try to, you know, not talk about it as much as I could, because everybody thought that it was just this, it was a thing for, you know, for kids. But yeah, close enough, right? My friend saw that when I mixed records with him. He thought it was like the funniest thing in the world back then. And people were even telling me back then a lot. People were like, oh, you guys know that Pokemon's gonna be like out of the way or out of style in a few years, right? Like it's gonna be the last game. Everyone was saying that Pokemon wasn't going to be a thing in a few years, as if Gen 3 was going to be the last game in the series. At school, at summer camp, I was always told that, and didn't know what to think. Because indeed, Pokemon did not have the huge fad status that it had back in the Gen 1 and 2 days. Because back then it was everywhere, it was inescapable, it was just Pokemon merchandise at every corner, you know. But then once Gen 3 rolled around, everyone was kind of tired of it. They didn't know what to think. So they just kind of rolled with it, but again, a lot of the fans, a lot of people that had played the game a lot during the first 2 gens kind of fell off after this point, and that was how my friend, my best friend Chris, my dude in real life. Funny I should mention that, because I mentioned in the original LP that I didn't really have a best friend because I was trying to be fair to everyone. But yeah, my friend Chris Oliver, he's kind of... I do call him my best friend because I've known him since first grade, and he's a great guy. I don't know what his opinion of Pokemon is these days. I know he liked Coliseum because when I was playing that, he talked about wanting to play it. So I'm not actually sure. But yeah, like, he was having a birthday party, and he would tell me, like, yeah, dude, don't bring your Pokemon games because nobody wants to play that or whatever. And it got to the point where by the time I was 13, I myself tried to distance myself from Pokemon, which is crazy to think about because it's such a big part of my life, especially on YouTube. I mean, it was all I did for the longest time was just Pokemon LPs. I keep doing that by accident. Was that in Pokemon? Did they change the bag in Pokemon placements? In Gen 4, I mean? But yeah. So for a while, like, I myself, it was a combination of wanting to keep up appearances, try to look cool, and also it was genuine burnout on my part. After a while, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm getting bored of this, so by around 2005, I myself kind of fell out of Pokemon. I was like, I don't like it anymore, you know, I'm not really into Pokemon anymore. I would tell everybody that I would talk to. And that happened to be the time when Pokemon Emerald version came out. So I had told everyone around that time that I wasn't into Pokemon. I didn't buy that game. So that's why nowadays I don't really have much of a, like, I don't have any nostalgia for Emerald version, which is a lot of people's favorite. So you guys might watch these and ask, why aren't you playing Emerald? It's the definitive version of Gen 3. And I tell you, it's because I have more connection to Ruby and Sapphire, the originals. You know, I got Sapphire first, and then I had Ruby for a while too. But more importantly, Ruby is my girlfriend's gem, or her birthstone, I mean. Which is really interestingly fitting because we have this weird contrast of like red and blue going on. Like she has all these different relations to red and I have a different relation to blue. And she got Ruby whereas I got Sapphire, and to complete that little triumvirate there, my buddy Craig, he got Emerald, and his birthstone is an emerald. So there you go, it all links together somehow. But yeah, I want some opinions on that. Like, what do you guys think of the downturn that Pokemon had for a while? That's how much I don't use Ralts, by the way. I thought that Ralts didn't even get an offensive move until it evolved. You see, we have to confuse them into thinking that we're a female Pokemon, but we're actually a male. So that's how this works. Also, is Wurmple just a pure bug? I thought he was a bug poison. I can't remember. That's kind of wild to me to think about. I thought he was a bug poison. I legitimately thought that. Yeah, what was it about Gen 3 that made you guys want to jump off of the Pokemon game? If you did, that is. I mean, if you weren't... If you were still hanging in there like me, then tell me the opposite. What made you want to keep playing? Yeah, quite the contrast from my kind of experience with Gen 1 and 2. Because in those days, I was like surrounded by people playing the games. Everybody was into it. It was the best thing ever. I didn't go this way yet. I'll take that. For me, you know, I was still only 10 years old when this came out, so I wasn't really... I didn't think of myself as too old to be playing these games, you know? I was like, yeah, I'm getting a little older, but I'm still a child. I mean, 10 years old was the age that in the anime that Ash embarked on his journey, after all, so... In that same vein, why should I not play a Pokemon game that came out when I was 10? I'll just run for now. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, after a while it kind of became this thing where, again, Pokemon was, it was gay, and it was just for kids or whatever, so I got so fed up with it that after a while I myself just wanted to be distanced from it. I literally just saw one. This guy wants the goods, fam. People like that a lot back in the original LP, the goods. Why was that so funny? Oh, you got this guy balling like Chad Warden. Unfortunately, we have a psychic Pokemon here. It cannot hurt dark Pokemons. We're gonna have to switch. Alright, double down. Show them how we do it in South Central Texas, that is. Damn, I'm just getting all the luck in this LP. Holy shit. I'm getting crits out the ass, burns left and right. Just who the hell do you think I am? Yeah, I think Megasonic told me to get a Ralts in my last, in my original recording of this, so... By the way, I haven't gotten a chance to say this in any of my LPs, but, like, I have to give some kind of... Oh my god, excuse me. I have to give some kind of credit to Megasonic, Mr. Brandon, because he was a huge supporter of mine in the earlier days of my LP career, if you will. He was there for me. And he actually made a drawing. I don't know if I still have it or not. I hope I do. But he made a drawing of all of my original team from my first LP. And he was in one of my parts. He was a guest. If you watched my part where I was in the Team Aqua base, he was in that. He's a cool guy. So, I have not said that enough, and I'm sorry, but thank you so much, Megasonic, for your contributions to my works. You're a great guy. I don't know what he does like these days. He's been doing a couple of, like, he does a lot of those videos where it's just recorded straight off of his console with no commentary, so I don't watch it that much because that's kind of not my style of video, but he has fun with it, so I can't really say nothing about it. See, that guy had the mindset of me. I wanted to be popular at the time. Like, I wanted to be perceived as cool, and I wanted to be in the in crowd and all that. So that's why I dropped Pokemon for a while. And again, like I said, it was partially just because of that genuine burnout. I was just like, you know what? I want to play something else. I want to try something... This is retarded, dude. I just want to get out of here. Finally. Is Rolls that slow? I've never used one before, so I don't know. Back to Route 104, and I love this music too. It's all so good. Do I have any of this left? Yeah, I do. Nice. My mouth is kind of dry tonight, so I've been sipping on some Monster White Dragon tea. Pretty good. This is the bop right here, man. This music. Hell yeah. So many memories. Seems like just yesterday I was a young 17-year-old boy embarking on this journey for the first time. Well, on YouTube anyway. It really does make me feel something, you know? I can't really describe it. Because when I started this LP, I was in a pretty good position in my life. Like, I told you it was from part 12 onwards when I came back to the LP that I was totally just depressed out of my mind. But in those first 11 parts, I was doing pretty good, and when I think of the Ruby LP, excuse me, I want to think about that, because that was a very nostalgic time in my life, and I just had so much fun playing this game again. Even though I was a bit of, you know, unexperienced at the time. I didn't know how to do LPs, didn't really know what to say. Didn't know how to be myself. Kind of a contrast, because now, I mean, I've been talking about stuff in my LPs, like... What was it that I said? Yeah, I was talking about all the stuff that I would do with my waifus and how I met my girlfriend through erotic Fire Emblem roleplay. I am incredibly open now, and I hope I'm not too open for you guys, because I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I definitely don't want that at all. I just want to be myself. I just want to be free. I just want to be me. And I want to invite my friends to all of my parties. I think that's how that... I haven't listened to that song in years, dude. Lady Gaga, Hair. It's a good song. I just didn't like Born This Way that much compared to the other albums. Like, a lot of people say that Born This Way is their favorite Lady Gaga album. Just because she wanted it to be her favorite... everyone's favorite album. But I think it's an okay album. It's got good songs on it. It's just, I don't like it nearly as much as the Fame or even Art Pop. Because it had too much of the same stuff on it. It was a little too deep and serious. Like, I prefer an album that would have more fun songs to balance out the serious songs on it. But she was, in my opinion, trying a little too hard to be this kind of all dark and gothic and serious, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't a fan of that. Like, back in the day, I used to love her so much that I just listened to, like, all her songs no matter what. And she is my favorite pop star, by far. I mean, a lot of her newer stuff is great, too. But that album, I just wasn't feeling as hard as most people were. I thought it was kind of... I don't want to say pretentious. It's not the right word. Just a little too dark, a little too serious, like... She didn't need to be... See, I have that, just like an Espeon. Like, how do I even describe that? I just was not a fan of the way she carried herself back then. And I would say that I wasn't a fan of her, like, being all, like, she lost a lot of weight. But in hindsight, like, I don't want to talk about that because she really did have anorexia, and that's not, like, that's a serious issue. I knew people in high school that were going through that. So, I don't want to make fun of her for it at all. It's just not a good thing to... I mean, she got past it, so more power to her on that. Because I understand that can be like a big struggle to go through an eating disorder, because I never had that myself. It was just... it's kind of fucked up. But either way, I love this theme so much because it kind of encapsulates the feeling of we're growing up. We're going out on our adventure. We're getting further in the further up the line, if you will. We're not little boy anymore. We have matured into a, well, not quite a man yet. We haven't even beat the Elite Four yet. Damn, double down. Nothing but crits. I am feeling... oh my god! This team! This is gonna be my best Pokemon team yet. Goodness. I tell you, these guys are something else. But yeah, I love the composition of all these tunes. It kind of like, it fits the mood of whatever part of the game you're going through at the time. And I'll take that too. Unfortunately, I cannot plant berries on an emulator because it doesn't have a proper clock. I believe you can, in fact, fix that somehow, but it's not that important for the LP, so we're gonna skip it for the time being. This guy over here is just one of those kind of joke trainers. He has a Magikarp. I don't find that all that funny, personally. As a matter of fact, his very existence has offended me so much that I'm going to call it quits for this part. And the next part of Pokemon Ruby... See, I knew I was going to call it that. I knew it. I called it from the start. I mean Sapphire. We are going to explore Rustboro City. And hopefully get our first badge. But until then, I have been Love Game. Or PD1 Piranha if you prefer. And all that being said, have a good night.